All right, dudes. It is the end of the regular season. It was a great season. Probably my favorite year of all of our years that we've had. Actually wanted to look something up while one of the things that I was really excited about for this year was the simple fact. That's what I wanted to check. Fed was 7-6 last year also. Wow. That's awesome. One of the reasons it was my favorite year was all 12 members either did a preview or a recap. And how cool was that? Some of them were awesome. I mean, obviously, I love Feds. I loved RG3 making that appearance. That was that was hysterical. That was cool. Love Bobby's. Bobby has done great. You know, that mixed drinks. I love that. Poems. I mean, it was just good quality stuff. Obviously, Rob coming out with the whole Star Wars thingamajiggy, and then the singing, and you know, Mark Conroy and Mark mocking the drinking league that we're in, and you know, it was just great from people that we haven't heard from all the time. So I appreciated that. Great year. Thank you guys for making this league fun. Now, end of the regular season. This is not a playoff preview. We're just, recapping the regular season, and it'll be brief. I just really wanted to express my gratitude to everybody and say thank you. Reg, I hope next year you actually do a video, man. I appreciate you stepping up twice for those recaps. And dude, he cutting my grass? What's going on out there? It doesn't feel like holiday time anymore. Dude, we were in Virginia. It got down to 21 degrees. Dude, today's going to be 76. Tomorrow, we're back in the 80s. Are you kidding me? We already making plans. We are going to the beach on Saturday. It'll be like 84 degrees and sunny on Saturday. Obviously, even warmer for the Conroys, obviously, being a few hours south. So, yeah, what a great regular season. We're not going to recap some of the good trades, the bad trades, the tainted trades, the silly moves, the bad moves, whatever, because it was cool. We didn't do a lot of smackboard talking, not a lot of polls, all that kind of stuff. But the one thing that we did have is all 12 people did either a recap or a preview, and I loved it. Thank you guys, big time for that. Look how big my hands look compared to my head. It's like a weird angle that I put this thing on just to try some things out. Ooh. Obviously, we're drinking league, so I gotta have my tea. I'm no longer allowed to use Splenda. My wife was just wanting us to have all natural stuff. So I have my lime, but I have sugar in the raw. Took a few days to get used to, but I like it. Rob, it was really cool spending a little bit of time with you and hanging out in Gordonsville, in the cabins. I enjoyed that. Dude, one day we just need to get a few of those cabins and have a Men Who Dream reunion, and all of us hang out. That'd be so cool. We get a few of those 3-bedroom cabins. It'd be great. Bring the families, for those of us that have families. Zach is the only one. Zach, you might actually one day get married if you're willing to go on a date. It means take a sister out and go somewhere. That doesn't mean your sister. It means someone in the church. Go on a date. Just go on a picnic. Go to Barnes & Noble. Do they still exist? Go read a book. Make her dinner. Double with your mom and dad if she's important. Dude, fantasy football. There's only one thing that you can control in fantasy football. One thing only. Based upon your draft, the players you select for your starting lineup, the trades you make, the waiver wires, the free agents, different things like that, and a little bit of luck, of course, but there's only one thing that you can control. That is the points you score. What you cannot control is whether you win or lose. What you cannot control is your points allowed. Points allowed. Let's look at that. This is a crazy statistic. The T-ville Canes had an amazing year. Obviously, losing that last game, but what they win, like 8 or 9 in a row before that? It was crazy. Great run by Aaron. Aaron allowed 1,334 points. That's why he was number 1 seed. Contrast that with Gabe. Gabe allowed 1,644 points. Dudes, I know some of you aren't really smart in math. 310 points between Gabe and Aaron. 310 points. Dude, that's crazy. That's a huge number. Wow. Points scored, the one thing that we can control. We'll look at Aaron again. Actually, Aaron didn't do that bad because in the last couple of weeks he picked it up. 1,524 Aaron scored. Gabe, 1,560. So you might be mocking Gabe a little bit because he's finished in last place. But as I said, the one thing you can control is points scored. Double Daughter Daddy scored 1,645 points. The only other team to go over 1,600 was Jefferson Starship. By the way, obviously I didn't even bother changing, manipulating, whatever else. Bobby, you're actually the number 5 seed. Ryan wins the division. They are 1-1 against each other. Ryan beat Gabe twice. Or no, I'm sorry, Ryan and Gabe split. Ryan was 2-2 in the division. Bobby was 1-3 in the division. So the way we do our tiebreakers, ESPN only does head-to-head then points. The way we do our tiebreakers, it's head-to-head and then in the division record. So Ryan wins the division. Ryan is the 4 seed. Bobby's the 5 seed. It means nothing. Doesn't matter who wins, who loses, whatever. It doesn't matter whether you're a 4 or 5. You'll still play. Obviously, the 2 seed, if the 6 wins, you'll play the 1 seed if the 3 wins. So I didn't even bother going back and changing all that. But just so you know, Ryan, congratulations on winning the Babylon division. Stumbling to the finish line after starting out 6-0. 6-0, and you finished, what'd you finish, 7-6? You never know when the playoffs happen, though. So Bobby was the only other team to score over 1,600. Phil had a solid year all the way across the board, scoring 1,587. He was 3rd. 4th, Gabe. Gabe scored the 4th most amount of points. It's all about who you play, when you play them. Can't control it. Can't control. The only way we control is how many points you scored. Dudes, we will have a playoff preview. I know this was kind of a weak thing. I just wanted to put something up and just really to express my gratitude and thank you guys for participating, for having a great season, even for those whose teams weren't doing great throughout the year. You still made the league fun because you continue to try to win your games. Thank you for that. Dude, I love this league, man. I feel for Rob. I know it's hard for Rob. So after winning the trophy 2 years ago, 2 consecutive years of not making the playoffs. I know it hurts. Of course it hurts. Phil, I'm proud of you, man. You had a very consistent year. That was awesome. Very cool. Fed, way to defend the cup. Come back strong. Solid team. Scary team to play in the playoffs with Peyton Manning, that's for sure. And Bobby's a scary team, too, to play in the playoffs with Calvin Johnson. So we'll do a playoff preview probably later in the week for the 2 games. So a couple of things, just so you know, we reseed in the playoffs. So Aaron, for example, is the number 1 seed. Don't worry about where the brackets are. So, for example, if the number 6 seed, which is Fed, if Fed wins against Phil, Fed will only play Aaron in the second round. Phil will only play Double Daughter Daddy in the second round if Phil wins. Okay? And obviously, whoever wins that 6-3 game, that will determine the 4-5 matchup as well, and who they play, whether it's the Canes or Double Daughter Daddy. Also, the waiver wire, just so you guys remember, if those who haven't made the playoffs in many years or who don't recall, the teams who are still alive for the cup start the waiver wire. So, for example, this week, Fed will be number 1 on the waiver wire. Bobby will be number 2. That's the benefit, Bobby, of being the 5th seed instead of the 4th seed. It actually hurts Ryan to be the 4th seed in this case. And so then Aaron will be the 6th pick on the waiver wire, and then it will go in the order of everyone else as you continue on down the line. And we'll keep going that way. So the following week will be only 4 teams will be on the top. And then the championship game will be those 2 teams playing, have first choice on the waiver wire. Fed, it was really cool seeing you. I know we didn't get a chance to hang much in Virginia Beach, but it was cool to see you and your family. That was great. And I love that you talked to Ashlyn about picking your name out of the hat. She was all excited about that. You know, meeting other fantasy footballers. Reg, it was great. Good hanging with you. Good talking. Reg, I appreciate Reg's humility. I mean, I told my brother and Debbie about this. I was so encouraged by Reg's humility. We were running short on time. Whoever was emceeing that night just continued to talk and tell stories, and other people who were sharing just went on and on and on, and just, you know, it was hard to cut people off sometimes, you know. And Reg sent me a message through somebody else saying that he didn't want to share, even though he was chosen by Deb, you know, to share on Eddie's behalf. But Reg knew, because we didn't have a lot of time, that would save some time, that he was willing not to share. And publicly. Obviously, I was going to talk to my brother privately. And but I appreciated that humility, that he was willing to do that. But there was 0% chance I would not let Big Elder Reg share, especially after him not wanting to. And it has nothing to do with him not wanting to. It's him being selfless. And that's why he's an elder. I appreciate that, Reg. Dudes, great regular season. Hopefully everyone plays to the best during the playoffs. There's no injuries, and we just have some great battles. I mean, I want to see these 150 to 160 scores all the way through. Obviously, I want to win. If it's not me, I'll be honest with you, I don't want Fed to win. And the reason I don't want Fed to win is we've never had a back-to-back champion. Nothing against him personally. We've never had a back-to-back champion. Don't want that to happen. Wouldn't mind seeing Phil win, because Phil's an original member, and after making that championship game in year number 1 and losing to Gabe, I don't know if he's ever made the playoffs since. And so if it's not me, I wouldn't mind seeing it be Phil. All right, dudes.